And looks like we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Success Mastermind for Monday, the 13th of September. John Lavenia here with you, live and in person. Good to see Ingrid and Stefan. And I saw Robin and Daisy and Ivier and more people tuning in as we speak. Welcome, you guys. Good to see you. Hey, quick shout out to Ivier Barnabas, the birthday girl over the weekend. Hey,
Thank
birthday
you,
girl.
John.
All right. Yeah. So I know not to ask a woman her age, but you're very youthful, regardless of whatever the number is.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Good times. Good times. Speaking of youthful, there's Adrian. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. I'm not so
Right.
useful.
Very good. Very good. So it is starting a new week. Here we go. I'm excited. I got a couple ideas I'm going to share with you, and we're starting a new book tonight on our book study group, which of course you can invite friends as well, people who like to discuss philosophy and how life works and personal development and all this. That happens at 9 p.m. Eastern US time. And the place to go if you want to get in on that or have a friend get in on that is jlsuccessmastermind.com/books, jlsuccessmastermind.com/books. And when they go to jlsuccessmastermind.com/books, they will be on our list and they can tune into the live show and they can get a PDF version of this. This is my precious right here. You guys know what this is? This is an original printing of Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. Look at that. This I got on eBay maybe 20 years ago. And it was old then. It was all yellow. Look at how yellow these pages are. Look at this. And I think I paid $4 for it. There you go, 1936, Simon and Schuster. So we're actually going to use the PDF version of that, so I can keep this preserved in as good of a condition as I can. But my goodness, what a book! So Dorothea Brand, Wake Up and Live. We're going to cover the first 3 chapters tonight. So if you're, hey Allie, so if you're tuning in live to that, definitely have read the first 3 chapters. Before we get together tonight. And also we have our e-commerce work group happening at 3 p.m. Eastern US time. That's at 8 p.m. in London. And of course we have Emma and Neil who host that for our e-commerce friends here to discuss different topics as it relates to you building your business via Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Shopify, etc. So various e-commerce methods are discussed there. That being said, we have a little topic that I wanted to bring up with you here today. I just had a meeting with some new entrepreneurs. These are people, actually both of them that I just met with are in the medical field, 2 different medical professions, but both medical nonetheless. And they are looking to flex their entrepreneurial muscles and get into business online and do things that are, I would say, not as restrictive as medical. Now, medical is a very respectable field, right? It's much needed, especially in the age of COVID and all this, right? So that's an important profession to have. And yet, I've seen again and again and again people coming forward from that field and others, of course, but from medical saying, I'm looking to learn business now. I want to be an entrepreneur. The conversation went on and I got to talking with them about some of the stuff that I do as, as a mentor and a consultant and a person who guides people into becoming successful entrepreneurs, regardless of the method, right? I'm not an e-commerce expert. I don't purport to be one. There are other people who are more focused on like the nuts and bolts how-to stuff and the intricacies of e-commerce, right? Emma and Neil are 2 of those people. They'll be hosting our e-commerce work group. I couldn't host that group, right? I mean, I can give you a couple of my ideas for what it's worth. If you want to talk about sales and marketing, I'm your guy. Okay. But as it relates to e-commerce specifically, not something I've put my attention on. Okay. But whatever the method is, there's the need for an actual entrepreneur, a self-determined person, someone with a goal and some ideas about where they're going. There's a need for them to show up and to execute whatever the method happens to be. And I came to find out that one of these people had been tuning in to some of my talks on YouTube and such, and they're like, oh my goodness, I got so motivated, and I feel like a transformation here. Like just one of the things that you talked about with when you love your work, it's like passion versus working really hard on something you don't even like doing. It's just stress. And I thought, wow, that one distinction, which on the surface has nothing to do with e-commerce or whatever the method is, right? But that one distinction was transformational to this perspective of that individual. And so that got me thinking a little bit about what we do here. Of course, I don't hold back, like with the Mastermind group. Like here we are, right? So I don't have like any filters on oh, this philosophy is too deep or something. I mean, there's definitely some rabbit holes we haven't gone down because it would require years of study and all that. And I can certainly point you in that direction. Of course, I've been studying this kind of stuff for more than 3 decades, but and applying it into my life to the best of my ability. And I guess that's the point, right? Is that we could sit around and theorize for whatever that's worth, which isn't much. Okay. Or we could find things that we can actually use, see that they're workable in life and actually put them to work, right? And then make progress. And so this person was acknowledging me, which is very pleasing, that that they had gotten mileage out of something that I don't even know that I said, right? I don't know what's going to come out of my mouth until I hear it. But it's just stuff that I've noticed that works in my life. And then whatever message I'm getting at the moment, is what comes out. And whatever prompts that, and we can get into, the mystical, ethers of it all. But the idea is that the message gets through and it's relevant and usable to people who are, as with me, right? We got something in common here, regardless of methods. They are looking to be, do, and have more in their life. So there's the common denominator. That we are seeking fuller expression, expansion, increase in our lives and the lives of others, and however that works through whatever methods. Okay, we are seeking increase, and we recognize that we are. So I know I've quoted many times from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, where he talks about, in fact, we recently read that one. We also read Working with the Law by Raymond Hollywell, okay, in our book study group. But the idea that that any life, right, a tree, a person, an animal, whatever, is looking to expand, right? Trees grow up, right? And then, throughout that cycle, which could be 100, 500 years, however long the tree lives, right? And then it, decays and becomes the dirt, and the new trees grow up, right? So there's a cycle of all this, but the intent is always towards more life, survival, expansion, increase. And for the person who denies themselves that, I want you to think about this for a moment. The person who has succumbed to their fate, to this work that they don't like to do. This is my lot in life, and I'll never be, do, or have more than this. And hopefully the corporation, the government, something, not me, okay, but hopefully something outside of me is benevolent enough to keep this gravy train moving so that I can make my pittance and survive or whatever. If that's the extent of one's ambition, well, what do we need personal development for? Why do we even bother reading this book? You know what? We don't. There's the bottom line. We don't. What's on Netflix tonight? Can I watch some, kitten videos on YouTube or something? Entertainment, diversion, distraction. Distraction from what? Distraction from having succumbed to our lot in life. Sounds pretty friggin' miserable, doesn't it? I think so. I'm not buying that deal. Now, you look around society, right, and watch the news. Actually, please don't. This is not a suggestion. But look at the narrative, which is chronic and constant and in your face all the time, covertly or overtly. The narrative is everything's going to shit and there's nothing you can do about it. So there's the conversation, which you could engage in, which will very successfully help you succumb and just, this is my lot in life, right? Nothing you can do about it. If you want to go on that trip, right? A lot of people are on that trip. What can I do about it? Well, It's the same thing you can do about it. Is you could stand up. You could say, you know what, I'm going to go make something of myself. Yeah, we have circumstances which may or may not be pleasing. Okay, but regardless of that, right, we're going to work with what we've got, and we're going to make something happen within our circle of influence. And we're going to do that by becoming more than what we were yesterday. We are going to extend our reach and expand and prosper, and we will flourish because we are bigger than our current station in life. Yes, we are seeking increase, and we will accomplish increase by becoming more than we were before. Johann Goethe said, everybody wants to be somebody, nobody wants to grow. Okay, well, I think that was a broad generality when he said nobody wants to grow, because even if he looked at himself, right, unless he was condemning himself in that, nobody, well, that's not accurate. There are definitely people that want to grow. Okay, so just like, the trees of the forest, right, I would say unanimously, they all want to grow, right? And I would say if you asked people in general, you might find, a few outliers. Okay, but, would you like to grow? How else could we say that? Would you like to earn more money? Oh, yeah, I'd like to earn more money. Not get rich quick or anything, but earn more money in less time. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So people get stuck a lot on meanings and words and assumptions and whatever. Okay, but if you said to somebody, would you like to be in good physical condition, healthy? Would you like to be healthy? Oh, yeah, I'd like to be healthy. Okay. Would you like to have pleasing relationships? Yeah, I'd like to have pleasing relationships. So everybody intrinsically, right, is motivated towards what? Increase. But, and here's the big but, right? If we neglect our own personal development, it's easy to go into agreement with and succumb to the suggestions that you can't. And in this book, which we're going to study the first 3 chapters tonight, Dorothea Brand will enlighten you and put your attention on things that most people don't want to put their attention on. It's a really important thing to put our attention on, though, is that which causes us to agree with our own limitations and others as well. And that's where agreement comes from, right? I'm not just sitting here agreeing with myself. I'm agreeing with the narrative, or I'm deliberately disagreeing with the narrative, right? So I can choose that. The narrative that, you know what, there's limits to everything. You can't fight City Hall, and well, this is my lot in life. And look, I won't hold you to account for your mediocrity as long as you don't hold me to account, right? We can all agree. It's very social. Yeah, we get to agree. There's the booby prize right there. So my suggestion is don't necessarily agree. Even look, let's say we're reading a book, right? Is the end result of you reading the book that you get to agree with whatever the author thinks? No, have discriminating thought, critical thinking and all that. That's how we find what's workable in life, right? I mean, you may say, well, this person, let's say somebody, a trainer, right? Here's some marketing guru or something, and they're giving you instruction. Okay. Well, does that method hold water for you? In other words, can you apply that method successfully in your life? I've been critical at times for, because I've done a lot of work in the home business space where, let's say, for example, network marketing, right? So there's one form of a home business. And I've spoken at like events and talked to lots of people who identified as marketers. And I would ask them, well, what kind of marketing are you doing? And they're like a deer in headlights. They don't even know what the word means, right? But their guru, their so-called leader told them, to do this and that, and that's what worked for them. And they're not really connecting the dots, or that's the form of marketing that they're doing. So they're vague on like the meanings of words and stuff. But also those methods may not work for that individual. They work for that guy, but not that guy. I could tell you that one of the problems that I've confronted in that space for myself, and I've made a lot of money in that space. Okay. But it's not duplicable. In other words, Ralph Emerson said, envy is ignorance, imitation is suicide, right? So my methods are not necessarily duplicable, cannot be duplicated by someone else, let's say with a very different personality, who could be equally successful if they find, and they can, okay, if they find methods that work for them based on how they occur and how they see themselves in the marketplace. That doesn't mean that that they can't learn from me, okay, or from some other expert in that area, but they've got to find ways to internalize. They meaning all of us, right? We have to find ways to internalize what seems like good philosophy, good theory, possibly good methods, but then to make those our own. When we confront life, okay, talking in a general sense, there is no script for that. I know some of you have read books like, which has not been on our reading list, and for a reason, books like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. A lot of people like that book. Me, I'm like, it's got a couple good ideas in it. I'm not like a disciple. No. There's way better stuff I think you can get into. But How to Win Friends and Influence People, that goes down the road of like neurolinguistic programming and stuff like that. It wasn't necessarily codified into those words, okay, but time has gone on and people talk about this stuff a lot. I don't believe there's a script for life. I don't believe I could hand you a canned version of here's what to do, and then you can duplicate that flawlessly and get the same result that I might get with that script, which I wrote. And I've written some scripts, by the way, okay? More like guidelines. I hate to call things scripts, okay? We're talking now like in the business world, where my way of presenting something, my way of communicating has a certain effect on the listener, whereas those same exact words they would occur totally differently from somebody else, right? And you guys see this, right? You see this in yourself. Certainly you've seen it in me and everyone else you've met here. There are people who communicate differently. And, it would sound like, for me to try and sound like Allie, right, would be bizarre. Not that Allie isn't good and right and able, right? But there's just a whole different approach. Okay. Gail, right? I'm going to go imitate Gail, right? That would be a spectacle. Yeah, that would be interesting. I love Gail, right? And she's good and right and able and very different than John, right? Here's Adrian is going to imitate Ivier, right? Fun, right? Fun. Actually, suicide. Ralph Emerson, imitation is suicide. All right. But can we take methods, theories, principles? Can we take principles and make them our own? And now I don't need your freaking script. You know what you could do with your script, right? Let me at the marketplace. Let me at the public. Let me at the planet, right? And let me, run. And that's, where does that come from? That comes from the inner development of character, not just personality. Here, let's throw on a script. Let's try and win friends and influence people or something. But more like what Steve Covey talked about, the character ethic versus the personality ethic. All right, now let's build ourselves up. And then what do we experience? Spontaneous right action. Why? Because we're already okay with me. I'm doing good. I just read 35 years worth of books, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. And I know I can provide benefits and service and all this. I'm going to go ahead and confront the marketplace now with no script, right? I've got product, a service, a benefit, an offer, right? Let me confront the marketplace now. And because I'm already okay with whatever is going to come out of my mouth, I can now do what? I can listen. There's the trick. 2 ears, 1 mouth, right? Now I can listen. And now, oh my goodness, John, how is it that your conversions, your closing rates, and the things that the new sales or marketing person or network marketer or e-commerce person or whatever the method is, right? That they would marvel at this person's statistics, which are exponentially higher than theirs at the outset, of course, okay? But then moving forward, right? They would look and be tempted to imitate. But how do you get that statistic? How do you get that level of conversion or compliance or agreement? Right? How do you do that? Is because I was able to listen. Because I was able to work with what is, not with what should be based on my own judgments, assumptions, whatever. I was able to stop talking internally and externally. Okay. But stop talking and listen. And now I heard. And what did I hear? I heard what you wanted. I heard the marketplace. I heard, the wants and needs, the demands. What did Napoleon Hill say about, when riches come? If you're one of those people that think hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought. When riches come in large quantities, they never come in response to just hard work. They come through the application, or how did he say it? In response to definite demands with the application of definite principles, and not by chance or luck. Definite demands and the application of definite principles. Those two things, right? How do you find definite demands? You listen. Definite, defined, not vague, definite demands. You got to listen. And then the application of definite principles. Well, that's where you come in with your business ethics, your practices, your ability to deliver, right? Your ability to knowingly and willingly put benefits into the hands of the marketplace, right? That's a definite principle. And when you meet definite demands, with definite supply, magic, baby, magic. Now, of course, this flies in the face of the victim thinking, which we're going to be reading about, and hopefully you have been reading about in this book, which says that you can't, or that everything's vague, and that life is just one big unsolvable problem. And a lot of people agree on that this is just one big unsolvable problem. You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like apathy. Apathy. Why bother trying? There's no use. Anybody want to, is that your affirmation today? Anyone? Why bother trying? You want to try that one? Well, that's a lot of people affirming that. Yeah. Not you. Disagreement. Thank you for your disagreement. Thank you. Okay. Because if not you, then who? And then you get to go make a spectacle of yourself. You get to go off script, right? You get to go be of actual benefit to people who are willing to listen, who are willing to pull themselves up, right? That's all. There's no secret behind this. Anyway, those are the ideas that were coming up for me today. All that from one person telling me that they heard a YouTube thing. I was talking about something and they got inspired. Okay, I'll keep showing up then. I'll keep showing up. Thank you for reminding me that I'm having an effect, because sometimes I don't know. What effect is this having? I don't know. But look, somebody could hear this right now who I don't even know is listening and be like, that right there, right? And then go on to save the world or something. So thank you for listening to me. My goodness, we're 23 minutes in already. That just happened. I'd love to listen to some of you if you got some thoughts about the value of personal development and what it means to you, and for anyone who is fortunate enough to confront you. Hey, Allie, you've got the floor, my friend.
Hey, hello.
Hey.
Feels like it's been a while. But thank you, John. I mean, to say that you have so much effect on so many people, so all the time. And over this last year and a half, I mean, goodness, the amount that I've learned personally, thank you so much. I just loved what you were saying about how nature expands and grows, and we are part of nature. And I think we just don't click on that and notice that and realize that as human beings, we should be expanding and growing at all times. And I don't think we're taught that as we grow up, that it's as important for us to grow as it is for plants and nature, and it's as natural and normal. And that's a wonderful analogy. And how many people just are stuck and don't see that. That's just, yeah, I love that. I love that analogy, that we are just as equal to the nature and need to expand and grow as a necessity for our beings. and also about not duplicating. I've watched so many webinars over the last year and a half, and so many people will say, just do this and you'll be as successful as me. Just copy this, copy that. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And you're the first person who has said that to me in this year and a half, to say that isn't it. And that it's just brilliant. It's absolutely finding those ways to internalize and make our own. And that's otherwise there's no consistency, and you might get to a point where, you know, that person or guru or hasn't done that bit or gone that far, and then you're lost because you haven't made it your own, and you can't then carry anything forward. So wonderful. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Ali. You know, as you were talking about the trees and nature, I was thinking, imagine if they could talk to each other and validate each other and give each other doubts about how tall you should grow or shouldn't grow, and all the regulatory considerations about growing as a tree, right? They don't have that conversation, fortunately for the trees, right? But we do. Oh boy. I love you, Ali. So glad you're here. Good stuff. Adrian, what are your thoughts?
John, great. It's a great reminder. We have to have these reminders. Don't we know these things, but don't we just go and do it all over again? We've got to keep pulling ourselves up short. And as you said, there is no script for life. You can plan 100%, over plan one way, and then something completely different is going to happen. Some other opportunity, something you didn't expect. So it just teaches us again, there isn't a script for life. Just have a go and things will start to happen. You've got to be out there. You have to be out there. You have to be asking people, as you say, make something happen in your circle of influence. People generally don't give you something unless you actually ask for it. And if you don't keep asking, it's much less likely you'll get anything. They will just tell you what they'd like you to do for their own ends, but to get something for yourself, you've got to make it happen in your circle of influence. And just start in that circle of influence, as you say. Don't worry about the wider world. Just start making things happen in your immediate circle, and then you get the ripple effect. So loved all of that. And, you know, don't just give up and do something you hate or you don't like. As you say, succumbing to things you don't like. There's absolutely no point in that. Now, it might take some planning again out of that. It might take side gig kind of work to get out of it, but just try to start somewhere getting out of it. If you're totally misaligned with what you're doing, that's a terrible way to live, and it's a very bad formula for having the edge. You just won't have the edge. You won't do anything special. You're just really treading water and going through the motions. So I absolutely agree with you on that. And as Ali said, invest in yourself. To be able to do that, we have to invest in ourselves, as we've been doing in the group, learning new things every day, particularly now when skill sets are accelerating as fast as we can even read the latest trend on the internet, or the latest app, or the latest piece of software, or the latest way you've got to manipulate your entries on all these wonderful sites. You've got to keep learning all the time and invest in yourself. So I agree with Ali on that. But really, it is having a go, get it done, have a go, as you would say. And don't wait to write the perfect script, because it just isn't going to happen that way. So 100% agree, John. I think they were great reminders. Great reminders. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So apparently we hit a nerve with this, right? So between Ali and you talking about the workability or unworkability of, here's some rote, canned version of an approach, right? I've not seen that as workable. So,
you can do things again, but you've got to do it a lot better. You've got to find an angle. If you just go and repeat anyone else's angles, okay, fine, there's always space, but you're not really going to do anything great. You're always going to be innovating. It's about innovation, isn't it? And looking and observing what other people are doing. And as you said, putting your unique angle on that, making it better.
Beautiful. Thank you. By the way, Adrian's hosting on Thursday. I'm going to be on a plane. So thank you, Adrian, for volunteering for that. That's awesome.
Better think of something to say, John.
Yeah. Well, you got 3 days to prepare. Let's get Captain Grapevine out here. Stefan, how are you, sir?
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me or no?
I can.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry, guys. Yeah, no, this actually is a really poignant topic for me right now because I was talking to my mom the other night and, I was tired driving home. So I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a few minutes just to stay alert? And so thankfully she did that. And as we were talking, I just started spiraling off on all these tangents about stuff that I heard in the media, the news, and like you start going on this like wash cycle of crap in your head. And by the time you're done, you feel so deflated for no reason other than the fact that you focused on it. And it was kind of nauseating because it's like, I don't want to feel like that. Overall things aren't going bad right now. So it's like, why am I focusing on that sort of stuff? And so you're right, it does create a sense of apathy. And somebody mentioned depression as well. It certainly contributes to that. And, following a script also, like, I think the best way you can, for me, is I learn what I can from each person. And I try to apply what I can to my life because not everything that I'm going to learn from every single person is going to apply. And I tend to be somebody, I want to start something and get it going because I know myself, if I try to get it perfect, I end up just letting it sit. And so you're right, just getting moving on it is important. So I don't know, it hit a lot of points that I've been thinking a lot about. So thank you very much.
Beautiful. Stefan, you sound like a totally different person than the one I met like a year ago, or whatever it's been. Like the certainty and the definiteness in your voice. It's obvious to me. So of course I haven't known you your whole life and I don't, we're not in conversation every single day, but it's to me, it's profound. You're moving, you're not stopped. And I think that alone is a statement of statements. So thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Yeah.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I really do.
Awesome.
So thank you.
You know who else is moving? Ingrid, my favorite violinist on the planet. Hi, Ingrid.
Hey there. This is a very timely topic because I feel that I'm heading into unscripted waters, big freaking time. And sometimes there's no script and you got to find people that are just, I don't know, helping you to find the bigger picture and not hang on to scripts that are perhaps not satisfactory, but have been the status quo for a while. So thanks for that.
You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. And I want to connect with you one-on-one today, if possible. It's Monday. So
just fire me a Skype whenever you feel like it.
Okay.
I'm obviously quite available.
Okay. Well, I am quite not available, but I want to get with my friend Ingrid to hear what's going on with you. Glad you're here, my friend. And look, we're just getting going, right? Here's one thing that I just know a little bit about, some of the stuff that Ingrid is confronting as of late. Everything's temporary, everything. So if I can keep that in mind, if I can remember that, it helps me to not fixate so much on this or that. So definitely looking to connect with you, Ingrid. I'll see where I can fit this in. Mondays are total friggin' mayhem. Love you, my friend.
Whatever day, it's good. I'm pretty free.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear from Janet. I'm sure Janet has some perspectives worth hearing. Hi, Janet. Where's Janet? Let's get her unmuted. Janet, hello.
Okay. I'm trying to get my buttons unmuting, etc.
Okay.
Hi, John. Good morning, and everybody. Last week you talked about when you were and you noticed other people and how they were their thing, and you kind of tried to do some of that, and then you lost your footing in what did work for you. And we spoke about authenticity. And I think that the script thing, a script from someone else is a guideline to a way of thinking, but it has to come, you have to internalize it, exactly what you said. You have to internalize it, And then when it comes out you and not someone else. You can't read from it. You have to have it come authentically, what you really do believe, what you really are thinking. And to me, that's one of the magic things. Not that it's magic, but that it's you are listening. You are listening to your environment, to other people, to nature. You're listening to yourself. You're listening to how you feel about it, because how you feel about it is your unique take on whatever it is. And it's your unique take. We talk about, if it's a product on the market, have it somehow presented in a unique way. And whatever it is that you are offering to the world comes uniquely from you. You are on the planet because you have something to give. And it's finding that special thing that you have to give, that you can offer out. There's a reason for you being here. Finding that reason, coming from authentic inside you to provide it, to put it out there. It's so important. And I think that's, I'm looking at all my notes here for everything, but I think that, you're not duplicating then. You are internalizing. You are saying, what's true for me? How do I present this? You don't even have to think of how to present it. When it's true for you and it rings your own bells, you'll come out with that which is your unique gift to the world. And I think when we go from the in to out rather than out to out, out to out has no substance. Out to in to back out again has substance that is you. And that's what we need to connect with. And I am right now in a state of transformation myself. I like to be there. I like to always be there and becoming more and becoming something new. And, I'm feeling it this morning. One of my students, I just read her email that said, she said, your class is really therapeutic. And that's one of the things that I have said is I want to bring joy to people. I want to give them, joy is really my main thing. But what I haven't said, she's getting a lot of my intent just through delivery. Thank you, John.
Beautiful. Thank you, Janet. And yeah, that is so gratifying, not just for the person who's experiencing the therapeutic nature of calligraphy in this case with your work, but gratifying for you as well. Look what effect you just had, and it was all authentic, right? Something that Janet just said, which I think was so simple and yet profound, was the difference between out to out versus in to out. Right. So I think right there is what we're talking about. That would be the difference between, as Covey called it, the personality ethic, out to out, versus the character ethic, in to out. Wow. Janet. See, Janet knows stuff. She's got a couple of books behind her too, right? She's read and she's got words. Yeah.
She's working on some books.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good times. All right, my friends, I don't see any other hands up. Let's go ahead and wrap up with that. Remember, we do have e-commerce work group at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. And then, of course, book study tonight, first 3 chapters of Wake Up and Live by Dorothea Brand. You can invite friend if you like at jlsuccessmastermind.com/books, and they can go ahead and grab a seat on our Zoom meeting. I'll see you all real soon. Make it an awesome day. You totally deserve it. All right, we'll see you guys.